Today is Thursday, 25th of April 2024. As we gear up to celebrate the special day, here are a few things that we must keep in mind. Every year, World Malaria Day is observed on April 25. Starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper, The Hindu states that Indian embassy asks Jammu and Kashmir man to call Russian officials for info on his brother. A Russian soldier stands next to T-90 Russian tank. Ajaz Ahmad Sheikh says his brother was forced to join the Russian army on the front lines after he left for the country hoping to secure the job of a security helper. 4 months after he last heard from his brother, who was pushed into the war zone on Russia-Ukraine border after being hired as a security helper by the Russian army, the Indian embassy in Moscow allegedly advised Jammu and Kashmir resident Ajaz Ahmad Sheikh to directly contact Russian officials seeking information on his brother. The Hindu newspaper also states that enforcement drive counters Kejriwal's failure against arrest in excise policy case in Supreme Court. The central agency said it had evidence of the Delhi chief minister's involvement justifying his arrest. The Directorate of Enforcement has countered objections raised by Delhi chief minister Arvind Kejriwal in the Supreme Court against his arrest in the excise policy case. The Hindu newspaper also states that Russia's deputy defense minister held over bribery accusations. Timur Ivanov oversaw construction and procurement for the armed forces and was linked to Russia's high-profile rebuilding of the Ukrainian city of Mariupol. A Russian deputy minister exposed in an investigation by late opposition leader Alexei Navalny's team was remanded in custody on April 24 on suspicion of taking large bribes. Russian Defense Minister Timur Levanov inspects the construction of apartment blocks in Mariupol, Russian-controlled Ukraine, in this still image from the video released on October 15, 2022. The Hindu newspaper also states that Israel pummels Gaza after United States Congress approves military aid. United States-Israeli relations being strained by Israel's conduct of the war in Gaza. Israel pounded Gaza with airstrike and artillery fire in its war against Hamas on Wednesday from after the United States Congress approved $13 billion in the military aid. Smoke rises following an Israeli airstrike in Deir al-Balah, Gaza Strip on April 23, 2024. Going on, as the Hindustan Times newspaper states that NSA Ajit Doval meets counterparts during the security meet in Russia. NSA Ajit Doval meets Secretary of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, Nikolai Patrushev, on the sidelines of the 12th international meeting of the high-ranking officials responsible for security matters in St. Petersburg on Wednesday. India and will continue cooperating with other stakeholders to counter terror funding and the misuse of information and communication technologies by terrorists and criminals, National Security Advisor NSA Ajit Doval has said on Wednesday. The Times also states that Meteorological Department issues several heat wave warning in the West Bengal. Indian Meteorological Department declares its heat wave when the day temperature touches 40 degrees Celsius and it is at least 4.5 degrees above the climatic normal. The Indian Meteorological Department has issued a warning of severe heat wave in some districts of South Bengal, with the day temperature crossing the 45 degrees Celsius mark at the Panagarh in the West Burdon earlier this week. The Times also states that bridge of National Highway damaged in IED explosions in Manipur. The blast occurred just 2 days ahead of the polling for the Outer Manipur constituency, which is scheduled on Friday. A bridge on a national highway 2 in Kangpokpi district of Stripe Town, Manipur was damaged in 3 improved explosive device (IED) explosions at around 12:45 a.m. on Wednesday. Officials said no one was injured in the incident. However, videos of the incident circulating on social media showed cracks and 3 craters on the bridge, which has affected the vehicular movement. Going towards the economy of the country from the banking and finance point of view, Reserve Bank of India bars Kotak Bank from online onboarding of customers issuing fresh credit cards. The RBI said its decision was based on significant concerns arising out of its IT examination of the bank of 2022 and 2023, and the bank's continued failure to address these concerns in a comprehensive and a timely manner. The bank, however, will continue to provide services to its existing customers, including its credit card customers, it said. Illegal forex trading. Reserve Bank of India cautions banks customers, asks banks to report such tradition to Enforcement Directorate. The Reserve Bank of India has cautioned banks and customers again about the unauthorized entities offering foreign exchange trading using the banking channels. According to the RBI, these entities are providing options to residents to remit deposit funds in rupees for undertaking unauthorized forex transactions using domestic payments systems like online transfer and payment gateways. HUL Q4 net drops 5.27%, hopeful of monsoon-led demand revival. From business point of view, the board has recommended a final dividend of rupees 24 for the financial year ended March 2024 on equity shares of 1 each. It had earlier paid an interim dividend of rupees per 18 per share. HUL said BP Biptappa will join the HUL Management Committee as the Executive Director, Human Resources and Chief People, Transformation and Sustainability Officer for South Asia. Hindustan Unilever Limited, HUL. HUL said BP Bidappa will join the HUL Management Committee as Executive Director, Human Resources and Chief People, Transformation and Sustainability Officer for the South Asia. Bidappa will also join the HUL board as a whole-time director, subject to a shareholder approval. Anuradha Rajan, currently Executive Director, Human Resources HUL and Chief HR Officer, South Asia, will be appointed to a global role as Chief Reward and Organizational Development Officer for Unilever. This change will be effective on June 1st, 2024. For the full year 2024, net profit increased to rupees 10,114 crore as against rupees 9,962 crore last year. The board has recommended a final dividend of rupees 24 for the financial year ended March 2024 on equity shares of Re1 each. It had earlier paid an interim dividend of rupees 18 per share. Now going towards the world news, including Russia blocks United States move at a United Nations on nuclear weapons in the space. Chinese student gets United States prison term for threatening pro-democracy activities. United States urges all armed forces in Sudan to halt North Darfur attacks. Spain's Prime Minister says he will consider resigning after wife is targeted by judicial probe. Columbia University extends talks with the Gaza war protesters, averting another confrontation. TikTok CEO expects to defeat United States restrictions. We are not going anywhere. Going towards the science and technology, 4 flares erupted from sun in a rare celestial event. How will it affect the Earth? Current solar activity points to the sun likely nearing or reaching the peak of its 11-year-old solar cycle known as solar maximum. 4 solar flares erupted simultaneously on the April 23 in a rare celestial event, possibly heralding in the sun's dynamic 11-year cycle. A screenshot of the video sun taken by NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory. Roscosmos astronauts to conduct a spacewalk outside space station on April 25. The spacewalk, a part of Expedition 71, is expected to begin at 10:55 a.m. and could last up to 7 hours. NASA will stream the spacewalk on NASA Plus, NASA Television, the NASA app, YouTube, and agency website. All eyes will be on 2 Roscosmos astronauts, Oleg Kononenko and Nikolai Chubb, when they set out for a spacewalk on April 25 outside the International Space Station. Expedition 70 flight engineer Nikolai Chubb from Roscosmos is pictured during a spacewalk to inspect a backup radiator deploy a nano satellite and install a communication hardware on the International Space Station Nauka Science Module. Indian origin astronaut Sunita Williams set for a third space mission. With 50 hours and 40 minutes, Sunita Williams is the second on the list of the total cumulative spacewalk time by a female astronaut. Indian origin astronaut Sunita Williams, along with the Butch William Moore, will embark on her third space mission with the NASA's Boeing Crew flight test to the International Space Station set for launch on May 6. Sunita Williams establishes a record for females with the 4 spacewalks, totaling 29 hours and 17 minutes during her first expedition. At last is a famous quotation said by Rabindranath Tagore, whose birth anniversary is 7 May 1861 up to 7 August 1941. Was a Bengali polymath who was active as a poet, writer, playwright, composer, philosopher, social reformer, and a painter during the age of Bengal Renaissance. He reshaped Bengali literature and music as well as the Indian art with the contextual modernism in the late 19th and early 20th century. Author of the profoundly sensitive, fresh, and witty poetry of Gitanjali, he became in 1913 the first non-European and the first lyricist to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. Tagore's poetic songs were vivid as a spiritual and a mercurial, where his elegant prose and magical poetry were widely popular in the Indian subcontinent. He was a fellow of the Royal Asiatic Society, referred as the of the Bengal. Tagore was also known by sobriquets Gurudev, Kobi Guru, and Biswa Kobi. Tagore's modernized Bengali art by spurning rigid classical forms and resisting linguistic strictures. His novels, stories, songs, dance, dramas, and essays spoke to the topics political and personal. Gitanjali's song offerings, Gora, Fair-Faced, and Ghari Bari, The Home and the World, are his best known works, and his verse, short stories, and novellas were acclaimed or a penned for their lyricism, colloquialism, naturalism, and unnatural contemplation. His compositions were chosen by 2 nations as a national anthems, India's Janaganamana and Bangladesh's Amar Sonhar Bangla. The Sri Lankan national anthem was also inspired by his work. His song Banglar Mati Banglar Chol has been adopted as the state anthem of West Bengal. Rabindranath Tagore says a famous quotation. He says that facts are many, but the truth is one. Rabindranath Tagore also says that the roots below the earth claim no rewards for making the branches fruitful. Okay, thank you.